Hello and welcome to MwikaliTalks and welcome to our new home. I absolutely, entirely love it. We are at Twiva Studios. This is at Kosa Heights, Hapatu Hurlingham, looking gorgeous. I love it. Don't you? Don't you? Love it. Looks good, right? Karibuni, karibuni sana. If you love our new set, please, please, please let us know in the comment section. That is on YouTube, MwikaliTalks, social media, unaweza tupata kule on Facebook, everywhere. Welcome to today's episode. I am super excited because today, our guest is phenomenal. She is rich and wealthy when it comes to information. And for the very first time, she sits and shares her story. From the Somali community, she grew up, set up to fail, but she did not. She fought her way all the way to the top. She's a lady lawyer. She's the very first Somali woman to open and run a law firm in the 254. Yes. Zamzam, welcome to MwikaliTalks.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yani, it is such a huge honor to have you here today.
Yeah.
And you look absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you, you too. Look amazing.
This is the first time that you're actually sitting behind the in front of the cameras to share your story.
Yes, yes.
And your story is one that has taken a lot of bravery for you to be here today.
Yes.
And honor is an understatement.
Yes.
You have accomplished so much, and your story now is not just yours to keep to yourself. You use it to encourage, to motivate, and empower other people, and that's why you're here today.
Yes, yes.
So I don't know, Zam.
Wow.
I don't know where to begin, but I loved something that you said before we started.
Yeah.
When I asked how do you describe Zam? Who's Zamzam? And then you just started explaining it to me, and I was like, don't say it.
Yes.
We'll wait until the cameras are rolling. So this is the time, before we even get into your story. How do you describe Zam?
Zamzam is not a traditional girl. Zamzam is not the orthodox Muslim Somali girl.
No.
Yes. She's different.
Not. She is so much more than that.
Yeah, she's much more than that.
That means you're moving away from the titles that we were given as kids growing up into certain communities and whatever religion we grew up in.
Yes, gender limitations.
Yes,
yes.
That is not who you are.
Yes, that's not who I am.
Let's go back.
Yes,
You introduce yourself also as Somali Bukusu.
I'm a Somali Bukusu because I grew up in Western Kenya. I was born in a place called Webuye, where the pan paper mills are, which forms a strong part of my identity, which has made me who I am today. I was told my birth was a difficult birth for my mother. She bled so much, and it was a very difficult birth for her. So that describes you how I came into this world. It was not a very easy process.
And was there anything easy even for you growing up?
No, no. So that when I look back on my life, it sort of like informs my purpose, my sense of identity. Before my father married my mother, my father had married before.
Okay.
And he married a lady who came with a daughter. So they were blessed with 3 daughters.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the marriage didn't work out. A lot of people don't understand. Somalis, we have this clan system. When you look at Kenya, you're looking at tribes.
Yes.
In Somali community, we have clans.
Okay.
So it's like our sense of identity. When you're born, the first thing you're taught is who you are in terms of your clan. And that's your sense of identity, like an ID on your face.
Oh.
When you walk around, you have to identify yourself. Who are you in terms of your clan, in terms of your, like the family kind of tree.
Yes.
So that's how
you
identify yourself. So my father and so after separating with the first wife, my father met my mother. My mother comes from a different clan. My father comes from the Isaac clan.
Okay.
My mother comes from the Majerten clan.
Okay.
So we have this clan dynamics. So they were blessed with 4 daughters. So in the Somali community, when you give birth to a daughter, you're a nobody. Because you have to understand a son carries the family name.
Okay.
So, and then the communities are ruled by the clan elders. You know, we kind of have a parallel system. and like the Kenyan kind of like system where people follow laws and court system.
Yes.
Us, we have our own different kind of like an arrangement.
Yeah.
You know, where we are ruled by elders, and these elders are clan elders.
Okay. So
my ancestry is from Somaliland, Hargeisa, Somaliland. That's my father, and my mother from Puntlands. Okay. So my family originally came from Somalia. And my roots, because of the British colonial government, most of them came working for the British colonial government. Yeah. So a lot of people don't understand there's a distinction among even the Somalis in terms of who we are. We have, by virtue of colonization, some found themselves in Ethiopia, some found themselves in Kenya, some found themselves in Somaliland, some in Somalia.
And you had to learn all these things as a child?
Yes. So from a young age, you have to be taught your identity, who you are. Because your survival depends on it. Okay. Nobody's going to do business with you if they don't know who you are. Because background checks are going to be done. Okay. People transact like within your clan, more or less. And when you look at other clans, it's like with a lot of suspicion. So now what happened now, when my mother got the 4 daughters, the pressure started coming from the clan elders for my father to have an heir. A son. Okay. So they imposed on my father to marry from his clan, a woman from his clan, to give him an heir. So when I look back at my life, that's where now issues of turmoil started at home. So my father married, brought in another wife, and there now started issues because we used to live in a certain part of town in a rented property. Then now we were meant to move into our property, a property that I saw my mother identifying the land, constructing, you know, so we were meant to move there. So when my father married the second wife, she came in with a lot of force because she is from my father's clan. Meaning she's priority. Yes. So from there now, she moved into that property and my mother fought hard. And I remember...
When you say she moved into that property that means just her?
Just her.
And so the rest of you were not allowed to go or live in that property?
So for us, we remained in the rented property in the middle of Webuye town. This one was towards now what's called like... it's like kind of like the newer part of Webuye towards Guest House. Like where the high-profile guys of Panpepa used to stay. So from there now, my mom, she's a fighter. I must give my mother credit. And she fought, and you have to understand, for us, to seek your justice, you have to go through the elders. So my mother went through this panel, and they're all male. There's no female representation. And it has to be my father's clan. And what I remember as a child, I just remember coming from school, I could not see my father or my mother. So I would ask, where are my parents? They're involved in opposite sides of the conflict. Oh my goodness. There was just turmoil and conflict, and people are fighting. And my mother called for reinforcement of her clan members from Kisumu, from Kakamega, from Kitale. It was just chaos at home. So when I look at my life, when I look at what happened later on, I had childhood traumas.
Were you involved? Would you see this fights? Would they take them away from the children?
Yeah, so these fights were ongoing. I would get updates. Oh, your mother was slapped by the Dio. I was like, okay, the Dio slapped my mother. I was like, there's nothing I can do. So as a child, you feel helplessness. Yeah. Then now when my father finally got justice and we were moved to that property. Then what happened now, one of the evenings when my mother was going to close the petrol station, she was attacked by women from my father's clan. And I remember as a child, I was in the house, I had commotion and chaos. So I came out through the main gate, then I saw my mother lying on the floor being beaten. And my father and another gentleman who used to work for us, Ali, they were just standing. There's nothing they could do. So Somali men, they don't get involved in women fights. It's beneath them as men.
What?
Yes, yeah.
So they'll just let them fight
They'll just let the women fight. So I remember from there, you know, I had to go through therapy to actually get my memory back and to remember what had transpired. I froze and I lost my memory. I don't remember what happened after. To date, I don't really know how my mother maybe got herself out of that situation. I think it was too overwhelming for me as a child at the age of 8 to see your mother, she's on the floor, she's being beaten by a group of women, inter-clan fights, you know, it was just too much for me, and I think I just went blank. So what I say about my life from the age of, from class 1 to class 4, I can't really remember what I was doing in school because I could not concentrate in school. Home was just a different kind of environment, chaos. So once the elders sat down, the other lady was told, move to Bungoma, you know. Okay. You Mzee, leave this family here. You've brought in a new wife, let her be kept separately from this one.
Yes.
So peace slowly started.
Okay.
But I lost a mother in the process. That's what, when I look back at my life, my mother, pre-conflict and post-conflict, those are two, she became a totally different person. She became kind of like a lioness.
Okay.
She had to like be so strong and brave to protect us that she lost that essence of being a mother.
Softness of
the softness. And my mother became a Simba. Maybe I should say a Simbaress.
Simbaress.
So my mom just became like this very aggressive, harsh. You know, even when I look back at my life, you'd come from school, we used to greet our mother like an askari. You know, like military style. Yes. Even we feared her. You know, and she was very ruthless and a very strict disciplinarian also. So that, like what my mother had to go through, I feel like my community fails to protect women. Clearly. Women go through so much and there is no protection for them.
And it's quite literal because even in the way of saying that you cannot meddle in women's affairs because they're beneath you.
Yes, they're
but
beneath,
then they're still part of a community and they're the same women that you expect them to raise your children. So
for me, now that I've gotten to this point where I've had like a 360 view on my community, and I'm a writer. So when I say the girl child is doomed from birth, I really mean it. Coming from this kind of traditional communities, because when you come from this kind of communities, a boy has more value than a girl. A boy is going to carry the family name. You as a girl, like Zamzam, now I'm going to get married somewhere else. My family name ends there. I will adopt my husband's family name and I will carry that lineage, that clan, if you're going to be from a different clan or whatever. So you see, you lose you don't have a sense of identity. You're just a carrier.
It keeps changing. You carry onto.
Yes. So I just say a woman born in this kind of communities, you're a carrier for a man's name, a man's genes, a man's clan.
It feels like you were born to lose you so that you can carry others.
Yes, exactly. So from there now, I went through school. I was enrolled at Lugulu Girls, one of the top schools in Western Kenya. I started picking up around class 6. And then class 7, my mother enrolled me to be a boarder, which was something very untraditional because Somali kids are not taken to boarding school.
Oh.
Yeah, so my mom took us to boarding school, and from there, even the diet, githeri, uji, ugali, you know, you get the shock of it 1 month. Like, what the hell is this?
What is this?
Yeah, but after that,
Unazoea.
Life goes on, you have your group of friends, and they made it very easy for me to adopt. And,
so everything at this point is very stable for you.
So things are stable now at home, at school, and I'm now blossoming up, performing. Yeah. And I had a very close relationship with my father. Okay. Like at home.
Was he still present?
He was, yeah. So my dad, he was a very loving father. Very gentle, not the traditional fathers who are very strict. Yeah. So I always say God was kind to us. We got a very strict and ruthless mother and a very kind and gentle dad. Yeah. So I got more of father's love, I would say, than mother's love. Okay. You know, because my mom wasn't that physical, I love you, mushy type. She was like, dictatorial, you know, you see her, you stand at attention and salute, madam. Dad was really, yes. So I went through Lugu, performed very well, got admitted to a national school, Loreto. The story of Loreto is very funny, actually. I had set my sights on Alliance. Okay. Then I had a friend, Ida Wanyonyi. She told me, Zamzam, her parents were teachers at Lugulu Girls, the high school. Yes. So she told me, oh, Zamzam, you know, I've heard Loreto Girls has a very good volleyball team. So let's enroll. And I don't even play volleyball. So I filled, I just wrote Loreto Girls. Yes. And I got the admission. And my mom was just told, come and pick the admission letter for your daughter from Bungoma, the headquarters. We didn't have the county system then.
No, we didn't.
So I got admitted. I went to Loreto Girls Catholic boarding school. It's been, I would say I'm a Loreto girl to date.
Okay.
And it shaped me to be who I am. And I feel I've been able to overcome so much also because of that very strong foundation that was laid in Lugulu, in Loreto.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
The teachers, I credit teachers, oh my goodness, teachers, we have to really appreciate our teachers, and they're very dedicated. So from there, now a sad tragedy happened when I was in my final year of high school. So in April, when I went back home, that April holidays, I was told, you know, like my father didn't come to pick me. God bless my father's heart. He would wake up at 3 in the morning to drive with our driver from Western Kenya to Loreto, Limuru. Wow. I would be the first to be dropped and picked. Wow. And visiting days, my dad would come. My dad, one of the days, called me and my mom. And we were called and we sat on the floor of our Tawakal stores that was doing all the trading. We sat on the floor and my dad told me, you know, my dad had sent for me. I was called. I sat down with my dad and my mom. And my dad told me, I'm not going to live for long. You know, that the Somalis, we call that the last will of a dying man. And you don't take it serious. You don't take it lightly. It's like you're bound by those words. Okay. So he told me, my daughter, I'm not going to be here for long. So he looked at my mom. He said, I'm leaving you the responsibility of the family, me, who was not even 18 years old. And he said, you know, a girl. So I became a female heir. It's something that we are very few. So far, I've only met 3, coming from the Arab and the Somali community. So he told me, I've entrusted you with the responsibility for this family. The girls, you're lucky, you've gotten to high school, and my sister was in uni. The boys, they're very young. They were like 7 and 11. Sorry, 8 and 12. Okay. So he told me, these boys are very young. Please make sure they get a decent education and take care of them. And I asked my dad, why, Daddy? Why me? You have one more sibling. He's like, no, you. And when I look back at that, it was an honor on a relationship that had been cemented over time. Because my relationship with my dad, it just happened out of the blues. I never planned for it. Our bond came from me challenging him. Because when my brother was born, I saw a lot of attention on my brother Ali, the 5th born. My mom, after getting 4 girls, was blessed with 2 sons. So Ali now, I saw my dad is giving Ali too much attention. So I told Dad, Abo, we call father Abo in Somali. Why are you giving this boy so much attention? I'm also a girl. Don't you think I need also to learn our family history, our family tree? You know, because in the evening you're taught who you are, your clan dynamics, and the family history. Who are your grandparents? You name the grandparents from day 1 up to the very last, the founder of your clan. So my father started teaching me and Ali, and I can attest I was brighter than Ali.
Ali was a child.
Ali was a bit slow to pick up, and I would impress my dad. And by narrating so I started challenging my father on gender stereotypes. And from there I would ask him so many things. Even when I was about 10, I told him one day I'll be a lawyer. I had not seen a lawyer in my life. I was in some remote town in Western Kenya. And my father told me, no, you cannot be a lawyer. And that was the mentality of Somali fathers. They had this perception that law is like illegal, criminal. You understand? It's like we cannot get involved with this kind of things. And I told my dad, give me one reason why I should not be a lawyer. And my father told me, you know, like, so he kept quiet. He knew when I would challenge him, and he said, you know, and he kept quiet, and I said, law it is then, you know, and chapter closed. I was always the one who would like close our arguments or like, have the last say. So we had a very good relationship, father and daughter, and he really believed in my dreams. I remember when I was a young girl, I would speak about my dreams. Dad, one day I'll land in front of this shop in a helicopter. And then I asked him, what would you like me to bring for you? Then he responded, nothing. I told him, listen, I'll bring you 2 things. I'll bring you a white T-shirt, and I would bring you a kikoi, which is called a ma'awis. in our language.
Yes.
Which is that kikoi.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's our traditional kind of evening wear.
Yeah.
You know, for the men. So, you know, like when I look back at my life, I feel God is gonna make everything possible.
Yeah.
In terms of my dreams. And, you know, that's why I talk about, like, don't be a dream killer. I tell parents, do not be a dream killer. Your child might tell you the most ridiculous thing.
But it's their dream.
It's their dream.
Yeah.
Encourage, nurture
Yeah.
it, you know? So
what does it
yes,
mean when
yes.
they say that you are here now, like you're taking over the family? What does that mean for you?
So
what did it mean, rather?
What did he mean? He's like, I've entrusted you with this family. I'm not going to be here. I've entrusted you with this family. My mother, you know, was running a family business. So to help her also manage that business and to ensure that all the family members get education, you know, just so I became kind of like a co-parent with my mom after my father's death. So basically a carrier of a family legacy. That's what he meant.
Okay.
That's what he meant. Because
so did you feel ready? Did you step into that?
I
mean, you were still in high school.
I felt overwhelmed. So what happened now, that was in April. In August, after the holidays, I went back to school. And my father passed on that holiday. Okay. August holidays, I lost my dad on the 19th at 2:19 a.m.
Okay.
And we took good care of him, and he died I always say, my father died a dignified death. I could not study. I could not read. I was crying. My mother has taught us to be very brave, not to show emotions.
Yeah.
So during the day, I would act very normal, not show emotions, and at night I would cry. So I didn't study after that. I had no capacity to study. I just said, you know what, maybe I should give up. I mean, the person who believed in my dreams is not here. And that lowered my mean grade from 84 to 82. Okay. And I got a very strong A-.
Yes.
And I was set for medicine.
Okay.
So I even forgot about law because I had a family member whom I used to look up to, Dr. Ismail. He's a neonatal specialist.
What?
Neonatal, actually. Betty Charlo, he's the one who treated the daughter when she was admitted. He deals with premature babies and also very specialized cases of kids' illnesses. And he handled the case at ICU, Nairobi Hospital. Okay. So I grew up with him. He's like a firstborn brother to me, though he's a cousin to my mother. Okay. So I used to look up to him. He had gotten a scholarship to go to Turkey, and he would come home for the holidays, and I was set. I'm going to be a medic.
Changed.
I changed from law to medicine.
Okay.
And I said, you know, I saw my dad struggling, and I said, let me do medicine. Let me do something for humanity. Okay. So I used to look up to him. Then I could not get a medical course. Back then, you had to wait 2 years for admission to a public university. Yep. So my sister was in an Islamic university in Uganda. So I told my mom, I have no interest to go to any Islamic university. For me, I'm the kurutu in the family. I will go to secular. Yes. You understand? That has no religious denomination leanings. Yes. So I waited, and then I was called to Maseno School to do business studies. My mother got very angry. She's like, this is discrimination. They see a Muslim name, they just post you to Maseno School. There's no way my daughter is going to Maseno School. She tore that paper. She went to Mskarikombo, who was then our MP. He was assistant minister. So my mother came to Mskarikombo, and she ruined that application letter, and she said, no way, get my daughter a better, you know. So he secured for me BSc nursing at Nairobi University because that was the only available course as they waited like to place me in a medical, like either dentistry or medicine towards the end of the year. So they told me just enroll. They did for me inter-university transfer in a day. He did for me inter-university transfer in a day. Then also he gave me a scholarship to go to Russia to do medicine through the Ministry of Education. All I had to do was just pay $50. But then I thought about my father's words. I had to be here for the family. And also my mom had told me Russia then was very, like they would throw black kids. You know, discrimination in these countries. You've seen what has happened to the blacks in Ukraine war, like the conflict, what they do to Asians, blacks. So with that now, I said, hell no, I'm not going to die in Russia. If it's dying, I'll die in Kenya or somewhere comfortable. So I just turned down that scholarship. And then I enrolled at for BSc Nursing, Nairobi University, as I waited now for either dentistry or medicine now for September.
Okay.
So when I got in, I was like, this is not what I'm meant to do, medical course. I think I'm not cut for this. We went.
After you've taken your mom through this whole process in Mwikali Combo.
Yes, yeah. I'm not cut out because they took us to Chiromo mortuary.
Yes.
Like on a tour, I said, I'm not going inside the mortuary. I'm not cut for this thing. I think this is not, and I fear even blood. When I see blood, I can even faint. Oof. So I started, then I was staying with a girl, Hamida. I told her of my personal frustration. She told me there's a special Islamic prayer, the prayer of choice. It's called istikhara. The prayer of choice is like you pray. So I told her, write to me. I don't know about it. I'm from a very different background, you know. So she wrote for me the prayer. And I sat and I prayed about it. It's a prayer to guide you about your life in terms of choices, which direction. So I told God, you know, God, guide my heart, guide my path, guide my life. So what happened now, one day I was in a career talk. We used to give career talks to upcoming like kids, you know, like high school kids. I met a third year BSc nursing student and I introduced myself and he told me, hey, you're Zamzam Abib. Go to Kenyatta Hospital, there's your interfaculty transfer letter. It's been lying there waiting to be picked. It had been lying there for like one semester. Wow. So I was shocked. I picked my interfaculty and it was, I had done interfaculty from BSc to law.
Nice.
I just saw people filling in engineering. I was confused. Should I fill in engineering? Then I saw law. I filled
then you filled it law, yeah.
So I filled in law and I got accepted and I came to the law school to that.
But when you finished uni now,
yes.
Were you eager to get started or did you have to just go home and get, you know, work done at home?
So I used to be back and forth. I'm doing the schooling. I'm running over the holidays. We had 3 months. Ensuring everything is in order, things are running well. So I sort of like took charge in terms of ensuring the stability in the family. I finished university. I used to be very active in uni. I was very active in legal aid. Okay. I would do like Kenya Human Rights, legal aid. I was very passionate about legal aid. Yes. FIDA, and I was so naive and soft back then. Yes. I could not handle domestic cases. I was so weak. Domestic cases, I would run away from them. I went to FIDA once and I said, never again. I cannot deal with women who are undergoing suffering. I can't handle this. And I gave one of the ladies my transport, everything that I had in my pocket. Yeah. And I told FIDA, adios. And now I want to go back because life has panel beaten me. Yes. And now I'm strong. Now I can take these kind of cases, and I have been helping women go through any kind of abuse and these kind of things. Okay. So I was very active, very active. I got internship at Kenya Human Rights, UNDP. And then now from there, I didn't depend on anybody because I didn't know anybody in Nairobi. So I would apply, go to the computer lab, apply for pupillage because after you finish law school, you have to enroll to Kenya School of Law. Yeah. Then from Kenya School of Law, you have to go like look for a law firm. Okay. So I started applying. God has always been good to me. That's one thing I can attest. Anything that I apply, any interview, I pass with flying colors. Yeah. I went to Oraro. Oraro, they were taking only 2 students, and there were so many applicants. I remember when I went before Pamela Aguirre, she's a partner. She taught us professional ethics and Chacha Odera. They told me, there are so many applicants, Zamzam. We are only taking 2, and I was amongst the 2. Good. Zamzam and Hilary Kiboro. Yeah. But then I could not take Oraro because they were not paying for Kenya School of Law. Then Kenya School of Law was 95,000. So I didn't want to burden again my mother. Yeah. So I was looking for a law firm that would either pay for me or give me a soft grant. Okay. So an opportunity came when I applied to Anjarwala. They were paying for us Kenya School of Law because Oraro was paying 7,000 only. Sometimes it's not enough for students to even make ends meet. Yeah. So Anjarwala was paying us 20,000 and then paying for us Kenya School of Law. But then we had to repay it. So from there now, I went through Kenya School of Law. I went through the pupillage period, got admitted, worked at Anjarwala before a little bit, worked in another law firm, Eastern Company in town. Then I started my firm, Abib and Associates Advocates. And through that, I've been able to see my siblings through school. Through that, I've been able to empower other children. I actually pay for college and university fees for vulnerable kids.
Oh, wow.
And so far, we've done about 10, and I think the numbers are going to increase.
Yeah.
Currently, we are doing 4, 2 high school and 2 university. For me, I feel like I had to also like give other people opportunity in the family. And I used to always put myself last and put others first. And these are things also like I've learned along the way, not to put myself last, to also prioritize myself.
We learned that the hard way because it feels selfish to some point.
Yes.
But at this point, did you have your daughter yet? Or
not yet. So after Kenya School of Law, I started, I mean, after I opened the law firm now, you have to understand in my community, it's like clan marriages or clan dynamics also. So a marriage was arranged, and from there I got married in 2015. March. I was blessed with a daughter 2016. But the marriage was just a very incompatible marriage. It was just a clan alliance. And I conceived my daughter, and that was the end of our relations. But I took 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19, about 5 years to officially exit. Because I was scared of coming out, the stigma.
So what do you mean? Yes. What was happening in the marriage? Because
yes,
they did not want you did not want them, there was no connection.
There was no connection.
Was it someone you had seen before?
No.
Okay.
So it was just a clan, the way my father's clan marriages are arranged.
Yeah.
Clan, you know, like we have to keep within our clans. So I was either meant to marry my father's clan or my mother's clan. Okay. It's like you stick within the clans that are known to you. Okay. For me, I'm of dual heritage. So I would only go for, but my identity, I carry my father's clan. Okay. When people see Zamzam, she's carrying her father's clan, the Isaac clan. Okay. Because you carry your father's clan in the Somali community. That's your identity. Okay. Everywhere I go, people know this girl, she's an Isaac girl. And among the Isaac also, we have sub clans. Okay. So that's how we identified in the community. Okay.
So was it a guy from the Isaac community as well?
Yes.
Okay.
So it was just incompatible. We had nothing in common. You understand? Yeah. Then I would share, oh, this marriage, there's nothing in common here, but I would be told, be patient, you're gonna make it work. You understand? It's like patience. You know, like they use the name of God, whatever it is, it's like this is. And Isaac, you have to know that we don't divorce. My clan, yes, marriages are for life. And it's a good thing because it's worked for many people. Yeah. But it's a bad thing for the ones who are in an incompatible marriages. Yeah. So the community does not like divorce. Marriages are for life. We are like the Indians. Okay. You marry for life. Okay. So from there now I was struggling and I was going through emotional abuse. I was actually undergoing abuse, which was not physical, but it was emotional abuse. Later it was financial abuse. And financial abuse whereby you earn, I was the one who was working, I was the one who was earning, but even my money was being used. You understand? It's like you have to hand over your money. Yeah. You understand? Yeah. I would give money for investments. They would be played. So they would be like run down. Like, so I'm the only one working in this marriage. And then, you know, when I'm going, I'm being told, oh, you're always working. You're not there for your daughter. You understand? So I'm wondering now, what am I supposed to be doing? I'm not good enough. So a lot of things happened. And in that process now, I became an emotional eater. To numb the pain, I became an emotional eater and I grew to 94 kilos. I could not express what I was going through. I was just quietly suffering, undergoing depression, undiagnosed depression. I was a functioning depressed person. Yeah. The way we have functioning alcoholic. Yes. I was a functioning.
So you were able to go to work?
Yes.
But then you couldn't quite... you know, put a finger to what it is that you were going through. Yes.
And I was just going through a lot of turmoil, and home environment was just chaotic. Also substance abuse involved, and I was seeing mirror and all these things. And, you know, like you're looking at the environment I grew up in, my father being a non-mirachua, you know, I grew up with stability. And you're looking at the chaos, you know, somebody's taking your car, driving, going to drink, and, you know, like running down the car. And even in the morning, I'm looking for my car, I have to go to work, I can't get my car, you know, even I can't go to work. And you see, these are things that are kind of hush, you should not talk about them. So, but my mom saw and my family saw that I was really suffering and I was dying inside. So from there now what happened, but I was not brave enough to take the step to process divorce because I was like, I grew up with a father. I want my daughter to have a father, you know? But then I was a single mother in a marriage, so-called marriage, because the marriage only lasted like a month. But I wasn't brave enough to tell people that I'm actually a single woman here because of the stigma, divorce stigma. Now we don't call divorce, it's actually uncoupling. And there's a divorce lawyer who's written about that. Maybe one of the days you can invite her. So we have to change this narrative, this stigma around divorce. If something is not working, it's not a death sentence.
Was there a process from your clan? Divorce was not something that you know was on the table. So what was the process for you? Because now that was another battle for you too.
So I knew, like in our family setups, whenever you have any issue, you address your issue before elders, and the elders decide. And most of the time, you'll just be told, go back, give it another try. So a meeting was held in 2018, and my daughter's father was told to change, to do some, you know, like to change a few things here and there. And for me, being a lawyer, that was like a consent order being recorded. You know, it was like finality. If it's not adhered to, I'm going to exit. So for me, when it was not followed through, I had now, like I just knew it was only a matter of time. When you're in the valley, when you're depressed, when you're looking at other people's lives and you're looking at yourself, you're like an A student. What really happened to my life? How did I get here? I was suicidal. I've been suicidal 3 times in my life. Yes, I've been battling mental health challenges. So I've been suicidal 3 times in my life. Suicide is a hush topic in my community. In many communities, it's a stigma. People don't understand that it's a mental illness.
It is.
You understand? Nobody takes their life just for the sake of taking their lives. They are not in their proper mental faculties. I was like, the shame, the humiliation, you're humiliated. You're being pulled down by this patriarchal culture. I was like, there's no point of living.
This was after you left the marriage?
Yes, and everything was happening. I was in a very precarious situation, unstable. So my mother made sure I moved from where I was staying to another property with CCTV camera, with security, because now with my work also it becomes dangerous sometimes. The cases that I handle, it can cost me my life. But this is what we do, you know. So what happened now after going through that 2019, I was just like in a very precarious, unstable state. So 2020, I decided, you know, this, like when you look at your life, you're like, you're a mess. You have a professional side and you have a personal side. The professional side is working because work was kind of like what kept me also alive. Let me add also my work because I love what I do. So that also kept me alive because it gave me meaning to wake up every morning. I wake up, I'm depressed, but I would do my makeup, dress up, go to work. Nobody even knew what I was going through. Then come back and deal with my mess. So from there now, I took myself through therapy. Let me tell you, I cannot overemphasize therapy. There's also stigma around therapy. People think you're weak. You cannot handle life. You know, I said in my heart, God guide me, and I was led to therapy. I went to his heir on Arboretum Drive. I looked for them online. I said, you know what, I need help. I can't deal with life, you know? I have to clean up whatever it is. I don't know, I need help from a professional. And I tell people, don't tell a depressed person, go read the Bible, go read the Quran. In my community, they tell you, go read the Quran. That is really insensitive to a person who's going through mental health challenges. So it's good to read the Quran, it's good to read the Bible, it's good to listen to gospel, therapeutic gospel and whatever, but these are coping kind of mechanisms. You have to address
the issue.
The issue, what is it?
Yeah.
So when I went there, I got a very young therapist and she was not able to handle my case.
Oh.
Yes, she was a very young therapist. We should talk, oh, you know, last weekend I was here, I went for vacation here. This, so we are talking about clothes and I'm like, I'm here, I'm paying 4,000 per hour. I need a proper professional, you understand, to help me deal with my issues. When you've gone through trauma, you cannot deal with a counselor. They're not equipped to handle complex issues.
Yeah.
You have to get a therapist. And in Kenya, we don't have many therapists who can handle trauma, complex trauma.
Okay.
You understand? These are things now you'll follow in the US, in other places now. There's a lot of like Jeff Brown. I advocate for people to follow him and a few others. There's now material on complex trauma. We call it developmental trauma.
Okay.
That comes from childhood. Like something happened in your upbringing that caused trauma.
Yes.
So I've changed my perspective on life. You have to do introspection. You have to work on you.
On yourself.
You can't change anybody. You have to change. You are the only, like when you look at, you know, like what's the common indicator? When you do maths, common factor, you are the common factor in all these situations, in all these scenarios.
Yeah.
So I started cleaning up now my mess. 2020 September, I said, Zamzam, enough is enough. I called myself for a meeting. I said, Madam Zamzam, sit there. We're going to have a very good meeting and we're going to clean up. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't have the tools. I don't know the path that will involve this cleaning. But the first thing is to acknowledge
that we need to
clean up.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes.
And from there, God opens the door. My mother was raised by her grandmother. She was not raised by her mother. When she came into the family sphere, her mother was hostile to her. Because my mother tells me she came into a family with so many children, she was shocked. She was used to staying with her grandmother. And then she's here now, food is served, kids are running all over the place, eating, and she would sit and she was shocked. Then her father was kind to her and he understood, but the mom was hostile.
Yeah.
So you realize now also that relationship, she didn't know how to be a mother. You understand? And from there now, she did the best she could, given the circumstances. When you look at all that she had to go through, you know, at least she pushed for us education and things like that. But in terms of being a mother, she didn't know how to. So, and that emotional stability is what was lacking. I went to Kineri, I met a very lovely lady who was, her background is HR, and she started counseling and she realized counseling is not enough. She went deeper into complex trauma. Yeah. And from there now I went and she earned my trust from day one, and I told her my family history. So I would go every Thursday at 3:30, I had a slot. And then she'll take me through deep hypnotherapy sessions. Because when you're dealing with complex trauma,
you did hypnotherapy? I
did hypnotherapy. And you know, I used to tell myself, I'm such a hardcore. I cannot be hypnotized. This is mimi ni kichwa ngumu.
That sounds like me.
Yes, I'm like, hypnotherapy is like, you just, Kineri, you're wasting your time. And immediately I went there. The first session that we did, and we didn't even plan for it, was on my father's death. I had not let go of my father's death. I was holding on to my father's death. And it's part of the things that were also affecting my mental health, because we were so close. Yeah. You know, I had not overcome that grief. But with grief takes time. Yeah, and in my community also, they say, oh, don't cry. The tears are going to burn the deceased. Don't cry. And the funeral also, the way it's conducted, it's done in a mosque. The men will pray for the deceased, whether you're a man or woman. And the men will go and bury. So the women also don't get an opportunity to say goodbye. And those are the things that I say have to change. Absolutely. You understand? Yeah. Women have to take part also in the...
I think it's conversations that like this that start that process going. Yes. You mentioned you tried dating after the marriage.
Yes. So I'll get to that. So I went through, so I said I had to take myself through healing first. Yeah. You have to kind of like, when you realize your life is a complete mess, but sometimes it's a good thing, because everything breaks You have to die, I tell people, for you to be reborn.
That's true.
Yeah, you have to die 1,000 deaths. Allow that, go through the pain. I was hardcore. I never used to allow pain. I never used to allow thinking. I was just like, I show a very strong persona. Nothing affects me. Slowly by slowly now, I went through the healing. I continued with work. And God blessed me. I met an amazing person.
Hey.
I decided to put high standards on myself because also a lot of us women, we settle.
Yes.
So I'm in an interracial now partnership. I call it a partnership with an Indian. I decided to venture out of my community.
Kabisa.
Yeah, because I realized I don't belong, I don't fit here. Even my friends would tell me, Zamzam, you when ni Muindi. Because I grew up with a good Indian population and I can mimic and I can, you know.
Yeah.
And this is a person I had met 2 years or kind of like 2020. And we just bumped into each other. He was looking for a buyer for a car. I happened to be driving that car. And he got my number and we started talking. I wasn't ready to sell the car, but then we kept in touch. So when I was going through my mental health challenges, because we were friends on Facebook, he would like sort of like notice I'm deactivating my account. That's what happens when you go through mental health challenges. Certain subtle things that a lot of people don't see.
Yeah.
So he would send me a private message, pole 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 pole, you know. Then he's like, let's meet up. I'm like, man, I'm out of this. I'm just going to raise my daughter.
Yeah.
I have accepted defeat.
Yes.
This marriage relation, whatever it is, not for me.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for my daughter to grow and I exit this place.
I have a plan. I
have a Canada plan. Me, I'm exiting.
Yes.
I'm just focusing until this girl is ready.
Yes.
Once she starts uni, me, I'm out of here. And then I'll get a mzungu because because this community of mine is not working for me. So I know, like, I was born a bit, I have a Britishness in me.
Yes.
I go get a Mzungu or a Muindi or whatever other nationalities apart from this nationality.
Yeah.
And for me, even I had said no Muindi, even though I studied with them, they were family friends, not in a bad way, but I was like, these guys, sometimes they discriminate on other people.
Yeah.
So I was like, X.
That's the one you got.
He's a Muindi from LD.
Yes.
So from there, he's like, no, just give me a chance, give me a chance. I told him, kept him waiting. So 2021, I went to Djibouti to meet my sister and the husband. I took my daughter for a trip. So we went, we had a lovely time in Djibouti, beautiful place, French speaking, a bit underdeveloped compared to Kenya. We hiked, we went to lakes, and we had a fantastic time because I'm very close to my sister, the fourth born, Nafisa. We are a close-knit family.
Okay.
So when I came back now, I think I was in a good space. And then he kept on pestering me, coffee, tea, whatever. I said, okay, fine. I think I have run out of excuses.
Yes.
All excuses under the sun. Let's meet. And from there, the conversation started. And when I met him, I was like, what a wonderful voice you have, the voice. You know, I was really attracted to the voice, the persona, the person very kind-hearted. And I was looking for a partnership.
Yes.
You know, in life, I tell the young girls, look for a life partner, somebody who's mentally healthy even for you. We are dealing with a lot of toxicity in this community. Narcissists, you have to protect yourself because mental health issues are very key. Just like physical health, mental health is very important. So I met him, and from there, it's just been a wonderful blended family.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
So we see you on socials.
Yes.
Umemfunika sana Zamzam. Hivi emojis too.
Yes.
Mbona utaki tumuone?
It will come. So if you follow me on Facebook or...
Give us your handles because you have very good content on there.
Yeah, Zamzam Abib, Facebook. I'm going to expand on it also to continue the writing and empowerment. I mentor young people. So I found along the way my passion. Absolutely. What I had to go through, all these things that I had to go through, never lose hope. Yes. Never lose hope. Heal. I emphasize healing. You might be the most brilliant person in terms of your work, but you're dealing with things that are causing you internal turmoil. Things that happened in your family, in your childhood. Heal. There is support if you look out for it. Yes.
Absolutely.
Never
Thank you
give up.
so
Never
much.
give up hope. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
And now
yeah.
that you've started this journey
Yes.
of, being on screens and talking
Yes.
about this, I hope you do
Yes.
not stop.
No,
That you
no,
keep
I
going.
will keep on
And-
pushing the agenda,
Absolutely.
the conversation.
And we'll have you
Yes,
back.
yeah,
We'll
thank
definitely
you,
have you
thank
back.
thank
Like
you.
I said, you are
Yes.
rich and wealthy of information,
Thank
and I
you,
can't wait to
thank
just
you.
unpack all of that as we
Yes,
go.
yeah.
Thank you so much. And thank you for tuning in. That is all the time we had for you today on MwikaliTalks. You know what to do. Go like, subscribe, share, turn on the notification bell, and remember, if you want to be as happy as I am, you can see. When you're in a setup like this, when in your home like this, then you know things are beautiful. And if you're an influencer, if you're a business, then this is the space for you, because at Tiva Studios, they have this beautiful platform for influencer marketers and all businesses, especially small businesses struggling. How do I put my content out there? They help you create content and help you put you into the world, into the market, like every other business out there. So Tiva Studios is the platform, the space for you. I love it here. I'm sure you will. Adios.